No good deed goes unpunished, they say.
Okay, we're live. Stop talking. No, I'm kidding. All right, guys, we are live. It is Wednesday again. Only way we know it's Wednesday. I got Ben here. We are doing bottling. We're going to start harvest, and I had to pull Ben from the warehouse today. So the cool thing is, Ben, we have been doing this for quite some time. We have decided to open today the 2 bottles of wine that we did on our very first Pinot time, which was back in April, April 3rd. I double checked. We are not wearing the same clothes, so that's the good news for that. But we opened up the 16 Laris family, and we're also opening up the 16 777, which April 3rd, we had plenty. Every time your phone beeps, Ben, I'm going to make you a drink.
Okay.
Okay, so anybody out there, text him. Yeah, he's going to be in good shape tonight, because I should do that too. Hi, Joy.
Was just telling me that we're on.
There's a delay that I already got mine on my watch. That's funny.
I just turned it off.
Drink.
Well, good to see you again, Kristen. Long time no see.
I heard it. I saw Ben today at the winery. Actually, I was wearing my mask because you reminded me. But we are live. Oh, Yolanda's on. Very nice. And your Yolanda's on too. I love it. So we're drinking some Pinot. We're talking about harvest and bottling. We just finished 2 days of bottling last week. 3 days coming up next week. And you time it perfectly. Our Pinots in barrel about 11 months because we bottle it, and the minute the bottle truck pulls away, pretty much the grape truck pulls in.
Just about. We've got that time pretty good again this year. You never can tell because sometimes you get thrown a curveball. Like a few years ago, we started 2 weeks early, like on the 17th of August. And then we said, well, that'll never happen again. So the following year was the 16th of August.
Oh, well, it didn't happen again. So
this year we're looking, we reserved our truck for the 25th to our first delivery.
And who is the first delivery?
It's Booker Vineyards. We'll be getting the 2 blocks of Pomard that we get from John.
Oh, and you know what else? Technically, we are going to get, when Booker delivers their fruit, is we're going to get the first bit of our rosé.
That's right.
Right? Because the rosé is a little mix of everything. But talk to me a little bit about, so part of bottling's done. We're now on to the harvest.
Wait, we're not quite done with, we only did 2 days of bottling. I got 3.
I haven't put those numbers in yet.
And I would trade 20 days of harvesting for 1 day of bottling anytime. Bottling is quite the nightmare, and usually it's the logistical scramble because everything comes in. You got corks, capsules, bottles, and our bottles are all pre-printed, so the count has to be right. But we're giving them a count 5 months out than the bottling, and so we never know if you're going to rack how much wine you're going to lose. So it's a huge guesstimation, and sometimes we do really good, and sometimes we have a pallet of shiners when we don't do so good.
A pallet of shiners equals happy employees.
That's correct.
I was going to say that it is a good dance that you have to do. And on that note, I was going to say, am I even allowed to say, we had a little issue with some capsules?
Not really, but we had in the delivery from the printer that prints our bottles, they mixed in 2 cases of somebody else's bottles that have a much wider neck. So the real heavy bottles, we don't use those because I think they're terrible for shipping and labor and all the nonsense. They look good, but it's about what's in the bottle. Anyway, they have the really big neck, and these were pancaking on top of them. So we lost, that's 2 extra cases of shiners.
Oh, well, there you go. And I know what it is. I know what they are, so I'm really happy. I will tell you guys that I have a friend of mine who bottles the 18s and the 19s together. They're over in Napa. So they do some cabs. And the bottling crew took his 19 corks, just popped them in the hopper with the 18 corks. And out of 30 pallets, they have to find all these wrong corks and figure it out. So bottling is not just a nightmare for us or whatever. Bottling is a nightmare for everyone because you've been taking wine in essence from the bud to harvest, to bringing it into fermentation, to making it, to blending it, to crafting it, and then you turn it over to somebody else and, hey.
Well,
Right?
you babysit the wine from the grapevine to the pre-bottling, and then the day you bottle, you turn it over to some guys you don't even know in a truck, and hope that they know their job as well as you know your job. So you have to be very vigilant. That's the area and time where things can go south on you, and you really. I told you that I don't know the one just lately about had to go to the bathroom, and I turned my back and they put the wrong bottles on, or the ones that were unlabeled on a very important lot of ours, and so now I will never leave to go to the bathroom. I'll wear diapers, I think.
We're not. I don't think we're there yet. I'm hoping we're not there yet. That's a whole new tasting note for wine. I'm thinking. Well, I guess it depends. Yeah, that's Dan's joke. Oh, he's cracking himself up. Anyways, let me talk about this. Let's talk about the 16 layers for a minute, because we opened this back up in April, which it is what 3, 6, 5, 10. I don't even know how many months April ago was. How many?
4.5.
Oh, 4.5 months ago. Feels like about 4.5. So we opened the 16 layers. We are officially sold out of the 16 layers. So if you guys have it in your cellar, grab some. If not, sorry, because I had to grab it from the winery cellar. I went over to the warehouse today and grabbed these bottles of wine for us, Ben. It's drinking beautifully.
Well, it was a double goal winner of the American Fine Wine Competition in Florida, along with 3 other of our wines. So we had 4 wines that got double gold in that competition, and then it did well again in this competition in the North Coast Wine Challenge. The Laris for the 17.
Yeah, the 17 layers scored really well, and we have that available, by the way, on our website.
The 17 is, but the 16, we're enjoying it. The elegance of the wine, it's just a very beautiful wine, and it's very nuanced. And when you put your nose in, we talked a little bit about how seductive the wines can be. This one is very seductive. You put your nose in it, and I'm using the Riedel top Pinot. Yeah, it just makes a big difference. From about this far out, you can smell it. It's such a pretty nose.
Well, it's such an elegant Pinot. It's got that mix of the spice and the fruit, which I adore. I think is great. And as the wine ages, it gets the tannin softer, the acid softer. I compare it to spaghetti sauce. You make it at night, it's delicious. But the next day, the tomatoes and those acids sit in each other, and the flavors meld. And I mean, what do you say? 3 to 5 years from vintage is a prime time of drinking it. This is 16. We're on 20. Oh yeah. 16.
Yeah, just right in that really, really sweet spot. It just has that Rainier cherry. It's just real bright cherry, and that still stayed with a little bit of rhubarb and raspberry that I pick up with this. It's just a really pretty. It just like really lovely woven wine. It just those flavors all meet together with a very long finish with bright acidity, refreshing bright acidity.
I'm not getting apricots.
No apricots.
Now I'm getting in trouble. You know what? I don't think I've ever had a rhubarb. I think I need to have a rhubarb because I don't.
Great rhubarb. Oh, it's a lovely fruit, very tart. So it has a nice tartness, sweet and tart. So what's the best rhubarb pie? I think
pie is the kicker, right?
Well, there you have it. That's what happens when you live in Florida.
Right. I don't think they have rhubarb. By the way, I don't like
artichokes. How about artichokes?
What?
Artichokes.
I like artichokes. I don't like avocados, but I've been told it's see, that's the exact expression I get every time. I've been told it's because I grew up in Florida and their avocados suck. But I like guacamole.
How do you eat any Mexican food without guacamole? That's
very easy. One bite at a time. It's amazing. It still works. Anyways.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So I don't know. Are we talking about wine?
I
Yeah,
thought we were talking about bottling and
I
harvest.
don't get avocado either.
No, thank God, no avocado.
That's my thought.
With avocado, I think.
I don't get avocado either. So a few weeks ago, I do a weekly update. We post on Facebook and such that, I go around to the vineyards, and I was at Nunez Vineyard and Laris. Both growers were amazing to let me go and just have fun. By the way, Wendy Nunez, you're on. I want to come back and take some video of their ospreys. They have these cool ospreys.
Yesterday, we walked through, we rode in the Ranger, Fred's new toy, the electric vehicle that so we scooted up and down the rows and checked the grapes. We're pretty far. We're into September with Wendy's fruit. I think maybe we'll check again probably the last week in August for another run through on the vineyard, and then right now we're between the bottling on the open day. We run out to the vineyard. So yesterday we took in the 3 blocks of Booker that we get our grapes on. The two blocks of Pomard and 1 block of 777, and both of those blocks, the 777 goes in our clone blend of 777, and the Pomard goes in our Pomard clone bottling. Along with Wendy, also her 777 from the Nunez Vineyard goes in the 777 blend.
So Wendy said she loves the Tanger. I was like, oh, they have a name for it. Then she corrected it to Ranger. Makes more sense that way, but I think you should rename it the Tanger.
I thought I said Ranger.
It is Ranger. You're right. She did a typo, but I like the typo better. Did you see any jackrabbits?
Not yesterday. No, we saw some other people sampling. They look like jackrabbits, but they were people.
Look like Jack something. That's hilarious. Well, hopefully I can go back and check out the ospreys. Oh, she says it's, in the 90s. It's going to be hot out here in California, 100 degrees this weekend, which I guess helps or not. But when we were at Laris Vineyard in the morning.
When it gets too hot, the vines turn off. They don't. So this weather here that we're experiencing right now is absolutely perfect growing. You get a day like today, it's 85, 89 degrees is perfect. Once you get up to over 100 degrees, those vines actually turn off. And so they evaporate some water, but they don't advance the ripening so much. You can burn them, but they don't do that well.
No, and it's about 55 or so degrees in the morning with huge cloud cover. It's cold in the mornings. My 16-year-old actually today told me, I think I hate living in California. It's so cold in the morning, and then it gets hot. It's hilarious. But and I said, well, the grapes like
hot all the time.
Huh?
He just likes hot all the time.
He claims he wants to move to Florida. Because then he can fly to the Bahamas is his theory. Ron is asking, do you own any of these parcels? I assume you mean the vineyards, Ron. How do you ensure the availability of the grapes? That's actually a great question. We do not own any vineyards, but how do you, Ben, ensure the availability of the grapes?
So we just pay our bills every year. I think that's the perfect way. Well, we've worked with these same growers. Wendy, I think 2006, I think maybe Booker around that same time, but like Peters and Laris in the 90s, 1998 and 1999, and have a relationship with them. We get the same blocks every year, so I'm working with the same clones from the same blocks. So now we've been working with them over 20 years. The good thing is that those grapevines have matured since we've started using them. So much better quality every year. They get more. They get better. They age a little bit. There's a limit at some point where
That's to you, Ben.
Oh, thank you. Well, we have a really wonderful relationship with our growers. We party with them. We travel with them. We do lots of different events. And the idea is that, same with our employees, it's family. And I actually don't have contracts I have a couple small contracts with a few growers. But basically, it's a word of mouth and a handshake. And I've been doing business like that pretty much my whole life. And I think that it's worked very well for us. And our growers we have a really respectful relationship. And
we really do.
And it's the story about passing the envelope to Randy. It's definitely paying your bill is a big thing. It's such small margins in the grape growing business, and the prices keep going up, labor and all that. So that's very important keystone of the relationship with your vineyard. So same blocks, same vineyards, same blocks, same grower. And every once in a while, as we expand it out, we look for new vineyards. Campbell on the coast, we had one that we had a large contract. They had like a 30-page or 50-page contract that 20 lawyers sat in a room and came up with this ridiculous, stupid contract. And I told them, you know what, we're done here. We're not going to, we're going somewhere else. And they wanted us to come back, but it was already too late. So we found Campbell, which was really a wonderful find.
Oh, interesting. No, Campbell, I love Campbell. Well, I like all the Pinots. Who am I kidding? The other piece to this too that's important to note, because these are these relationships, and Ron hit it on the head. Trust and relationships make great wine. But one of the pieces too is when we do have those scarce years, we have those smaller years, you still get the grapes you need and want. And likewise for the growers, when we have those over bountiful years, we will take a little more because it's that yin yang, right? That give take.
Well, 12 and 15 were perfect examples of that. 12 was like the largest harvest on record. And with all my growers, I helped them out taking more fruit. And in some cases, quite a bit more fruit in some of those relationships. But we also worked out a pretty cool deal. I mean, on the extra, we paid them when we sold it. Sometimes we paid it a little sooner as things went good for us, but we come up with a relationship agreement that works for both. And so it's a win-win.
It is a win-win.
We were very short. And so my growers did scramble to shorten other people's contract and give us a little bit more fruit to help us along. So that really works well. That's the kind of relationship I really appreciate having with my growers.
So I saw you just poured yourself some more wine. Did you move on to the 777?
Yeah, actually, I didn't want to lose the opportunity to move to the,
Me neither. Because if you hadn't, I was going to tell you to down it. Let's go.
I'm up on you, so.
But watch how easy it is for me to catch up.
Yeah, this one even has a different nose. It's
good point.
It as the violets and floral notes of this one are what I pick up right away. As soon as I moved it, the notes on that, I don't know if you picked that up. Floral, very floral.
Dude, it smells amazing. It's flowery, little flowery floral, right? Same thing. Yeah, I think it's amazing. Pommard is a piece of my heart, but I do love the 777. So to me, Pommard's a little more masculine, a little bigger. The 777's a little more feminine, a little more of that floral notes to it.
Well, I asked the sommelier to the people sommelier, Chris Sawyer. I asked him, he happened to judge in both competitions, the American Wine Competition and the North Coast Wine Challenge. And I asked him because we won on the East Coast with the Pommard and on the West Coast with the 777. And I was interested in why that happened and how that happened, if he had any idea, because trying to pursue the difference of the two wines and how they're received. And he told me that in Florida, they have a very European idea of, and Burgundy, they like the Burgundies, and the Pommard is more Burgundian in their opinion.
Well, interesting.
And then in the California, they like the California style Pinot Noir, the brighter, more fruit and acidity. which the 777 is known for its bright acidity. And so he kind of gave me a tip on that. So I'll know next time what to submit.
Well, Burgundian, by the way, means from Burgundy.
Yeah, a palate, a Burgundian palate is a little bit different than California. We have a different idea. Yes, Pinot is called Burgundy in France, in the Burgundy region. They grow only Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And here we grow whatever we can grow in the ground. People grow, but so especially a lot of green stuff that they're growing these days in our area, and it's not grapes.
Not grapes.
So, but the idea is that it just shows itself a little bit different. The French style wines, they don't get the warm days like we do, so they're more acid driven, which is interesting because they don't get that right. And California wines get much riper.
Ron is agreeing that Pommard is comparable to the best Burgundies I've ever had. I threw the word ever in there, Ron. I agree. That's funny because I was born in Massachusetts, grew up in Florida, so maybe I do have more of that dirty earth palate, I'll say, more of that Burgundian style, more of that masculine, mushroomy, forest floor style I like. And yeah, the 777's got a little more of that floralness to it, but I'll tell you, it's funny, sipping this after the Laris, clear difference.
Yes.
Delicious. They're both delicious, but this is a little more bumped up.
I love going through the cellars of Burgundy because I got a great understanding. Now we've been there quite a few times and have seen some really great spots and some very small. My barrel guy, Francois Freres, Max, took us to some great places, small producers, high quality small producers, similar to us. So it made a beautiful chance to see these guys. But I was always somewhat like thrown back by the fact that the French always use the word terroir.
Yes.
And when you go in their cellars, they are the most moldy. I'm thinking it's Brett, and it's like not very clean. And what we do,
capital letters, Brett.
We do a lot. Our wines are very clean, as opposed to a lot of European wines. Now, in the last couple of times, things are cleaning up. Both in France and Italy, they're converting more to stainless steel and cleaning up the cellars. But I think there was a lot of Brett, and they called that terroir, but I don't agree. I mean, that's just me. But
also, to be fair, the French make their wine not to drink now like Americans do. The French make their wine to be enjoyed years from now, where we are making our wine both ways.
They don't have a choice because their weather is so much different. Look, they don't have the days that we do. They're very cool, and they get a lot of hail and interruption in their growing season from bad weather. And so where they have to add sugar, sometimes they call it chapelizing, because they just don't get the ripeness. So what they're really tasting is the alcohol is some sugar-based additive, but it's very bright acid. Their acid hasn't dropped down. Like in our warm area, we have a problem fighting to keep the acid because it gets so warm that acid drops out. So you can't put sugar in a American wine, but you can add acid. But in French wine, you can't add acid, but you can add sugar.
It's be clear. We don't add sugar to our wine.
No, you don't. You can't because you don't need to because the sun gives us the ripest fruit ever.
No sweet and low, no stevia either, right?
No.
Just double checking. All right. So Jerry's asking, this is a great question. I think I know my answer, but I'm also not the winemaker. So Jerry is saying, I prefer the darker and richer Pinot made in the French tradition. Which Papa Pietro Perry would you recommend?
Of our wines?
Yeah, that's what Papa Pietro Perry means. Yes.
Oh, well, we don't make French wines. I mean,
okay, I got this, Ben. Jerry, I'm thinking you're going to like our Pommard. I'm going to go with more of the Campbell Ranch. I'm going to go more to that coastal influence. Sonoma Coast, yes. And then maybe, Ben, is there another one you could recommend that is going to be similar in style?
Well, the newness sometimes gets pretty bright because
I'll go
it's
Noonan.
on the little warmer side of 101. So
Oh, it's got the good acids in the Nunes. Yes.
yeah, so it's really, we're driven by the weather, and as the weather's changing, like I said, we used to get our fruit, the end of September, early October, and sometimes as late as the last week in October. And today we're complete on the third week of September, like last year. We were done and finished. I went to Hawaii. I was
You're
done.
back from Hawaii this year.
Hence the Hawaiian shirt.
That is not the reason you were.
Whale tail, I have to, the native of Hawaii.
You kill me when you say whale tail. Yeah, Nunes was going to say Nunes. Nunes, you're right. What was I just going to say?
So we're looking and
You
talking
screwed
to
yourself
people.
over because your birthday is always around bottling and our harvest because
Yep.
you have a birthday coming up, August 20th.
Don't tell
Right?
anybody.
I'm not going to tell a soul. The secret is safe with me. Nice.
I'm not celebrating birthdays anyway. I'm done with them.
You're done with birthdays?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass on that day like it was leap year.
It's not. I don't think you actually get a choice. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Well, I just won't admit to it then.
Oh, well, all right then. I'm not getting you anything. Normally, you're either bottling or you're in harvest, but considering bottling's done on the 19th, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Harvest, we believe for us is starting the 25th.
Yes.
You can go in your pool.
No, we've got to pull out 150 of 1-ton fermenters and scrub them out. And we got to get all of our pick bins, 100 and something pick bins, half-ton pick bins, all scrubbed and cleaned. We got to clean the whole winery now because we got to move all the 100. What do we got? 300 barrels. Got to move those out. Sterile. We have to clean those and then stack them. And then right after that, sometime within a couple of days after we're through bottling, I'm going to get my delivery. I usually get 150 barrels delivered. So that's coming. So we're doing this juggling. It's an amazing juggle. The guys that work for my team, it's an amazing team because we're like, it's like sets. We move one set out and bring another set in, and everything's changing. We scrub everything so you can eat off the floor. I mean, it's really I know.
I thought you said something else.
Finished up in a couple 3 days, and we're ready to go again. We're a no frills winery, so we don't have a lot of space, and we, our technology. I'm still making wine like a home winemaker in 1-ton bins. I've got 150 of those on the floor. If anybody's ever come to see it, it's an amazing thing. Each one is marked. Each vineyard is kept separate. Each clone.
And they're marked on duct tape with a Sharpie.
Yes.
That's our fancy way of doing
High tech.
it.
We're really high tech. You know what I mean?
And Ben comes every year. So if you ever come to the winery, my office is in the very back behind Ben's office. And literally every year, Ben goes over there with a tape measure to tape how far he will give me to walk out of the room, which is why I'm on a strict diet plan.
Don't gain weight.
Yeah. Right? How much room I can have to open my door. And there have been times I must open my door, step out, close my door, then I can walk.
So you know the racks outside of your room?
Yeah.
It's time.
I know. I was there today. I'm trying to move all the stuff. Yeah. No, diet Whole30 starts now. Well, maybe tomorrow. Or maybe not.
When we moved in there, Bruce told me, he goes, okay, so what are you going to do in here? Who knows? I mean, I've never worked in this building before. And so it took a lot of time to learn how to move things around so you don't lock your latest ones in the back and your earliest ones. It's like playing 3-dimensional chess, but it's fun. I enjoy doing it. What I do is I'm very organized. So being organized, I've been able to pull this off, but you have to be organized because there's a 3-step dance to the whole thing.
It is a dance. You are organized, and talking about you with us. We are small time. We are a small winery, and so when we bottle our wine, we bottle it. Ben writes down, how many cases we've done, how many 3 liters we've done. We do 3 liters of Pinot Noir. How many magnums we've done, and he writes them down. Ben hand writes them down on a piece of paper. I photocopy it, and then I put it into the computer, handwritten. So we are still we are still a very simple winery.
I have all the records from 1980 through 2019 of handwritten fermentation notes on every wine I ever made. And I mean, my two guys put everything on the computer, and I handwrite everything. So I hand it to them, and then they input it. But to me, when I go to my files, somebody asks me a question, they go to the computer, I go to my files. I can find it faster than they can on the computer. I learned the old school way, everything. I write everything down. And so I can track all the actions that I've done for each wine for 42 years.
And to be clear, Ben, you have very neat handwriting, so it's easy to read.
Well, I studied structural engineering as an architect, and so you learn how to draw drawings with a very neat printing. So I learned that from, I think I started in the 7th grade, and I took it all the way through 2 years of college.
No, you got very neat writing. Ron's asking, can you post some videos when you start your work? Absolutely, Ron. I know Dan already responded, but I'm responding too.
Well, we have some. I think we have them online, don't we?
We're gonna do more. I think we've got Luca is with us now, and Luca loves doing videos and pictures. So yes, Ron, here's the deal. Watch our weekly updates because I drive the guys crazy and I want to video everything for these quick little snips. So yes, in live time, we're going to be posting weekly updates with stuff. On our website, we will have a whole thing on the harvest and the fun because it is fun. It is really neat.
Can I suggest that on our website, there's Grapes to Glass. It's a 9-minute video that we did that shows from the day we walked in the vineyard to the day we put the last bottle on the truck to bottle, and then the party that we're done and finished and it's time to party. It's a 9-minute video that really has everything about how we do it online. So
it is a lot of fun. It is cool. Dan in the back office with me makes his own garage wine, and when he first started, he was having a kick out of asking you guys, Ben, Dave, Tyson, you've got an incredible team, asking you guys for things. You guys have always been great, helping him out, all this good stuff. And it's so much fun working for a small winery because I love the smell of grapes. You guys check the CO2 in my office all the time to make sure I'm not passed out. I can't always leave my office because
I'm in there to make sure you're not asleep on your desk.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. We love it. But I am just realizing that we are at 33 minutes. And so
we're done.
Yeah, we're good. Ben, you're almost off. Give me like 2 more minutes. Next week, I am back with Valley Ford Creamery, amazing cheeses and such. 2 weeks later from now, we're doing Rocker Oyster Filler. It's going to be great. I got Ben again. We're going to bring on Steve Falk with our Falk. What's his name? Falk. Steve Falk.
Yeah, like Falkland.
Oh, like Falkland. Okay, him.
Like Columbo.
Oh, like Columbo. I don't know what that means because you guys are aging yourselves. Anyways, he's coming on. We're going to do North Coast Wine Challenge wines. We're looking to have some fun with our Wine Wednesdays. We've got virtual tastings out the wazoo coming up. It's amazing. We are the virtual place to be. I love it. Retail seminars, paint and sips, cheese tastings. We're doing it all. We're also offering small little virtual tastings. You want to get a couple of friends together and drink our wine with us? Give us a call.
We'll get harvest updates and a little bit of insight on how the vintage rolls out. So we'll know as we get involved with this, we'll know how things. We'll have a prediction for you on the 2020. Hopefully, the wine is better than the year.
I hope the wines have to be better than the year. We're drinking 17s in the tasting room. We are drinking 18s for Wine Club. Fall Wine Club's coming up, so I'm getting busy, and you're getting busy for harvest. 19s just went in a bottle. 20s are coming in.
Well, I would say maybe we named this one 2019 plus one.
Oh, you can't square root it, huh? Yeah, we can go 2019 plus one. I think that'd be hilarious, actually, the bottle. Let's skip 2020.
Nobody's liking 20 so much already. It's been like a nightmare year where everybody's wearing masks and we're like isolated. And I feel like I've been in jail for like since March, second week in March. I've been in isolation, lockdown.
But I will tell you, what's interesting about that? I have been drinking my better wine. The wines that I have, like the I'm like, forget this whole cheap stuff. I'm drinking the Pomards. I'm drinking the 777s. I'm drinking my wine.
Yeah, yours doesn't have any labels on it. That's why you're drinking that.
Oh, dude, no, mine have labels because
today it does.
Look at this. Those are labels. Joke's on you, Ben. That's hilarious.
Yay.
All right. Anyways, now that hopefully I'm back next week after that comment. But
all of us are back next week. That's God.
Didn't you just buy some? I did not buy some $2 Charles Shaw. Oh my God, we're going to do that, Ben. I'll have to tell you about that later. We're going to blind taste the stuff. It could be hilarious. Anyways, all right. Hopefully I'm not fired. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Ben won't be here next week. We're doing cheese. Ben will be. Oh, you're working.
You'll be a teaser. You can send a teaser out when you come and do your weekly update. You can see us hard at work.
No, or at work. Either way. All right. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers.
It has been another way. I'm over here. Hold it up. Cheers, cheers, clink, clink. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you guys next week.
Cheers.